Hey there, I have a Stark Brothers order to share with you, but it's not just that. Also, I have another Stark Brothers order to share with you. Their sales are too good. It's not my fault. I am not claiming responsibility for this. They have good sales, especially this time of year, and I jumped on some, and now there's plants. Let's talk about what they are, what they're for, what they do, and where I'm going to put them. So as for where I'm going to put them, if I can find my knife, I'm going to stick mostly to my zone 1 and some in my zone 2. In permaculture, zone 1 is like places that you visit more than once a day because those places need you or because you need them. Out of my front door toward the chicken coop, which is right over here, and then over towards the road, which is right there, is pretty much going to be my zone 1, I believe. I'm still not moved. Once I get moved, then we'll see for sure. Maybe up around the back side of the house a little bit, it'll also be zone 1. And then I imagine, again, not so sure yet, that behind my house, kind of by my solar farm and all that stuff, will be my zone 2, which would be stuff that you visit maybe once a day, several times a week. There's a ravine behind me. Love bug. There's a ravine behind me here, and there's woods right on the other side, and that's going to be my bee yard. That's going to be zone 3 until I get a footbridge built, and then it'll be zone 2. And I might put a couple of things on the edge of the woods over there. I haven't decided for sure. Okay, so this is the chicken yard. That is the coop. The chickens will have a little chicken door so they can let themselves out in the morning. I'm going to get a solar door. The inner chicken yard, where we are, has a chick fence, so it's got little holes at the bottom so like chicks can't go out. I promised a couple of my hens that they could hatch eggs this summer, and I want them to be able to have a place that they can come out. This will have aerial predator netting on it, and it will have a garden for the chickens. Doesn't mean I won't eat from it. So these are 2 bunches of bare root strawberries, Ozark Beauty, and this is Eversweet, and these are both everbearing. Everbearing around here start in March or April, depending on the weather. Like, I've already been picking off flowers of the other ones to make them spread more. Not all of these are going here. My plan is to, like I said, have a little garden for them. I have a mulberry tree that's going to go back here, and then I need to have a guild around the mulberry tree. My first flock of chickens lived under a mulberry tree. They made the most gorgeous orange yolks, and they loved eating the mulberries and stomping on them and making their feet all purple and stuff like that. So I'm all in for that. So they'll have their mulberry tree, and I'm going to put a few of those strawberries around it. So the strawberries will provide ground cover to help shade the ground, reduce evaporation in the drier months, retain some water in the ground. They are shallow rooted. Their roots go down about a foot, so they'll knit out and help. They'll knit out and help hold the ground together. And then I might also put a bush in here, but I haven't decided for sure. But if I did, it would be a berry bush, and it would be something that is redundant. So I have 4 gummy berry bushes back at the other place, and one of those might go in here. And then I'll do some other things that chickens like to eat. You know, I'll do like spinaches and lettuces in the cooler months, and I'll do Malabar. I'll have to put up some kind of trellis for Malabar to go up, and cucamelons, and eventually they can go up the mulberry tree, but not yet. So strawberries from this order will go here. At some point, I will get some June-bearing strawberries so that I can have a big all-at-once harvest of bigger strawberries. But for now, the everbearing will be great. They'll get me like March or April until usually like October, all the way through with strawberries. So they'll be smaller, but lots of them, and I am looking forward to that. Oh, and I failed to mention that my friend already planted an oregano out here for me. So there's already oregano growing, and that will be part of the chickens guild that they can pick at. Oregano is really good for chickens. All right, so I'm calling this area the outer chicken yard. The inner yard has that chick fence netting, and that's the black fence with the little holes that I showed you the B-roll of. And then I also have an electric fence. It's not on right now, don't worry. I have an electric fence. and I have a second electric fence because I figured out that one wasn't big enough. So the outer chick yard will come out more this way and that way. Once I know the hawk and predator situation, I'll start letting them come out here more, but I do want to home them to the inner yard first. So for the outer yard, I have a Santa Rosa plum. It is bare root. When it's time to plant it, I'm losing all its paper. When it's time to plant it, I will soak the roots for an hour or two and no longer than that before planting it to hydrate the roots. Excuse me. I chose this tree because I have a Gulf Beauty plum, and plums need a pollination buddy. So Santa Rosa was a good pollination buddy for it, and I love pluots. Like, they're in my top 3 favorite fruits. And Santa Rosa plums will pollinate a pluot tree, and y'all, they just put pluots on sale, and I am doing everything I can not to order one. But this is going to be somewhere out here in the outer chicken yard so that, you know, the chickens can fertilize it and they can have the fallen fruit and they can have another guild out here. I should tell you, when I put plants or guilds in chicken yards, I use the coated welded wire fence that has the 4x2 gaps in the fencing, and I make a little cage. The holes in the fence are 4x2 inches. I make a 4 foot by 2 foot by 2 foot cage. I plant inside of that, and then they can't dig the roots. They can eat what comes out the top of the cage that I make them, but they can't damage the living, make it live part of the tree or whatever else I put in. And that has worked out really well for me. I've been doing that for 4 or 5 years, I believe. So if you have chickens and you want to plant for them, I suggest that method. Last fall, I got swarmed by hornets out here. I got like 15 bad stings, and I don't know how many other stings. So when anything buzzes my head out here, I freak out. I think that was a bumblebee. Anyhow, this tree will have to be within 50 feet of my other plum tree, so the other plum tree will be on the home lot somewhere. I haven't decided for sure yet. We'll see what works. This little baby right here is a blueberry. There you go. I don't want to take it all undone until I can get it back. Hang on. Oh, okay, hang on. I gotta take it apart. Give me a second. Here's what I want to show you. It's already dropped a bloom. It's dropped a few blooms and it has some buds. That's exciting. They're not supposed to fruit for a couple of years after you get them. This little darling is why the orders that I placed a month apart came a day apart. And also, it's another reason that I love Stark Brothers customer service. So I thought that my O'Neill blueberry had died over the winter. An armadillo dug up its roots a little bit and it looked like it wasn't coming back. And so when I ordered the plum tree and the strawberries, I called them back a few days later and I was like, I think my O'Neill blueberry died. Can I add one to my order? And they were like, yeah. So we added that to the order. My shipping date got pushed back, and my shipping date got pushed back, and my shipping date got pushed back. And I've been through this with Community Coffee on an order on my subscription before. And I said, I have an idea. I think I know what's going on. So I called up Stark Brothers. Yes, I am old. I called up Stark Brothers and hawk. It's a red hawk. It is circling me. Hi, hawk. So I called up Stark Brothers and I was like, I have an order that's been pushed back like 5 weeks almost. And I'm in Texas and it's about to be hotter than Hades and drought like very soon. So I have a feeling there's one plant holding up my order. Is that true? And she pulled up my order and she took a look and she's like, yeah, it's the O'Neill blueberry. And I was like, not a problem. I said, just what else do you have in the blueberry thing that would fruit in June? Because that's when O'Neill fruited. And she went through them. She went through all of the June producing blueberries and found me one that can take a lot of heat and produces big berries. Sat there on the phone with me and looked all of this up for me. And then it happened to be on sale, so she gave me some credit. It was like $2, but still, I love their customer service. They take care of absolutely everything. They help you. I love them. It's true love. So this is a misty blueberry, and it will make large, light blueberries. And I'm thinking that my blueberries, blackberries, and raspberries, I might put them like back here along the edge of the ravine. This is the ravine behind the house that I was talking about. And over here is where I want to put the bees. So as I propagate my berries and my trees, as I take cuttings and root them or buy new plants or whatever, I'll start branching out into my zone 3, 4, maybe even my zone 5. I'll start moving farther from the home site. But this first year, I have so many things that are going in that I really want to keep it concentrated, like around the house and the edges of the woods by the house, and then the road along the lake, which I'll take you and show you in a second, because that's kind of where I'll be most often. And with this number of plants, and with the dog, deer, and hog prints that I found today, I just want to have things where I can keep an eye on them and protect them. I'll be using that same welded wire fencing, and I make circular cages that I put around the trees. I think I need to get some landscape staples that you use to hold down landscape fabric. What's that stuff called? Landscape fabric, right? Anyhow, I think I need to get some of those to secure the bases of the cages that I make, but I'll be putting my trees and bushes in those. And just in the first year, I just don't want to have to like go everywhere to keep things watered and all that. When I put in a berry bush, it will have a tree. It will have some sort of ground cover, strawberries, sweet potato. I don't want to put sweet potato, pumpkins, watermelons, things that really, really, really cover the ground inside of the home site until I know what the snake situation is here. So those will be a little bit, on the edges of the woods, just till I figure out what I'm actually dealing with here. And then as I do move out into the woods and start spreading out to increase the diversity out there, then I'll plant those one guild at a time. So I'll do like a tree, a bush, some comfrey, some ground cover, some pollinator seeds, throw some stuff down. So I have one to go visit each time as I'm establishing them, or I'll do like a couple of guilds in an area. I'll do like some connected guilds, like this guild will run into that guild, will run into that guild. And my main goal, obviously my main goal for being here for me is to live off-grid and grow food and be a happy little woods dweller. But my goal for the other 45 acres out here is to increase the diversity. Because as you can see, this is mostly pine. There's some, right at this ravine, there's some oaks and stuff like that. But the majority of this woods is pine. It was planted to be a pine forest. And monocultures don't do well. And diversity improves everything. So if you think about, let's say you go in and you plant 300 tomato plants, and you have no trees, and you have no other kind of plant. You have grass, and you have tomato plants. You are going to attract all of the hornworms for miles around. Butterflies playing chase, sorry. You're gonna attract all the hornworms. But if you put in some trees for birds to land on who can eat the hornworms, and they are gonna be full on hornworms, they're not gonna be after anything else. And you put in some borage and some basil. I'll get over it, y'all. To attract pollinators, and you put in your dill and your yarrow and other things with umbrella-shaped flowers to attract your parasitic wasps that will do that whole H.R. Geiger alien thing to the hornworms. Then you've created diversity, and you're not gonna have half the problem. So the problem with these pines is that if they got infested with pine borer, there would be no predator insects to go after them. There'd be, the system just doesn't have enough stability yet. And so I really, really want to build that up. It's exciting. Sorry, I didn't mean to get all nerdy. Maybe that's why you're here. Okay, so now we're behind my house, and this is a piece of woods. Yeah, let's call it that. This is a piece of woods that is between my house and the lake. Ow. Let me just show you a little. We have to go counterclockwise. It's an OCD thing, sorry. Lake is that way. Here's the road. It goes out over the dam and then it goes up through the woods. House. Solar shed. Solar stands that fell down. That's a whole story. It's another day. This is where I was saying is like probably going to be zone 2, but we'll see once I get in what happens. I'm going to give you all a little extra adjustment there. That was kind of, there we go. That's better. Okay, so I'm thinking this is one of those woods edges, like I said, that I'm going to probably put some of the berry bushes and stuff like that along the woods edge. I also have a whole bunch of elderberry trees. They're like this big, but they're trees. I'm going to put them along the edges too, because they're supposed to help with the deer problem. This, though, is a currant who has also come out of his paper. So this is a currant bush. It's a black currant, and he'll go somewhere over here. And even though there are trees here, these will be the overstory. As far as like a food forest goes, there's the overstory, understory we work on down. This would be shrub layer. All the bushes would be shrub layer here. So they'll go along the edge. Some of the comfrey that I put in here is starting to come up. I think I put 10 roots in here and I see 2. So either the others didn't make it or they just haven't come up yet. Either way, that's easy to fix. Put him back in his little root paper there. So as far as this being zone 2, you know, I'm not certain on that, because kind of everything along the path to the lake might end up being zone 1, just kind of depending on what my patterns are and how I move around once I get here. And by the way, I have a video that I shot a few years ago that explains permaculture zones. So if you don't know what I'm talking about here, I'm gonna put it on the screen at the end of the video. So once this video is over, you can hop over there and watch that. And then if you want to come back and watch this one again, you can, because I need more view hours, and it would really help me if y'all would watch my videos to the end and then watch another video. That aside, some things in zone 2 get treated as zone 1 when you're establishing them or in different seasons. Let's pretend that I got really smart about this and I put my June fruit here and my July fruit over there and my August fruit over there. Then in June, I would spend more time here, and in August, I would spend more time over there, but this would still be zone 2, even if I'm coming out here every day just in June, right? But if I'm going by here every day, then it would be zone 1. It's all very tricky, and the lines aren't clear, and they're not concentric circles, but it works. So we want this area to be stuff that once it's established, I don't have to do often. So I wouldn't put my annuals over here. I wouldn't plant, you know, tomatoes right here. I wouldn't plant my peppers. I might put peppers everywhere. I have a neighbor who loves peppers more than I do. So there might just be peppers everywhere so that he can find them and be like, ooh, peppers. You gotta feed your neighbors. I have one more thing from this shipment to show you, and then we'll take a walk down by the lake. Okay, now you are sitting on the road between my house and the lake, and this is the last thing from the order, and this is Millennium asparagus. Now, everything in these 2 orders is bare root except for that blueberry. So when I get back to where I'm still living, I am gonna plant the asparagus in a pot. I have purple asparagus in pots. Y'all, this is the first time I've grown asparagus, and I you know, obviously I didn't harvest any last year because you're supposed to let it sit. And then I heard in the second year you can have a couple if they're as big as a pencil. If something walks across the lens, it's a spider, it's okay. I went out one day and I had one purple asparagus that was as big as a pencil. And I was like, oh, it was like bigger than that. It was like the size of my finger. And I was like, oh, I can eat that. Maybe tomorrow there'll be 2 that I can eat. So I didn't pick it, and I went out, and tomorrow it was this tall, and it's taller than me. It's this tall. It's this tall. So I decided to just let those keep going. But I will be putting these in a pot so that they can at least get going. And then I think once I get moved, I'm gonna put them right here along the road. And it's not like a road that gets a lot of traffic. It's only people that are coming to my house, and that's not many people. So it's not like regular road where you get like all the road debris, and it's not like that. But I'm thinking that asparagus can go in here, and I'll probably do like the green in one spot and the purple in the other spot, just to make it easier to harvest and stuff like that. And they will be interplanted with strawberries and with pine berries. So those strawberries that I got the 2 varieties, and there's 25 of each. So what I'm probably gonna do, back where I'm still living, is I'll put 5 of each in a pot and let them get started. And then I'll save the rest and just plant them when I get out here. And I'll probably spread them. That's one thing I don't mind spreading around. Like, I'll put a strawberry out somewhere a few days before we have some rain and let it be somewhere. But most of it's gonna be here. And what I've been doing with my strawberries and my pine berries to help them like go into other areas is I'll put them in a pot, a big pot, and then I will take that pot and set it somewhere and let the runners spill out. And when it puts down, 3 to 5 of them and they're ready to have their runners clipped, then I can clip and take the pot and put it someplace else and let them go that way. So I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna do. I'll plant, most of them here with the asparagus, because asparagus and strawberries are supposed to be buddies. And I imagine I haven't looked into why, but I imagine that the strawberries help cover the ground. And then I don't know what the asparagus does for the strawberries, if anything. It's nice ground. It's not like where I'm gonna be walking on it. It'll be out of the way. I think this will be really good. So that is the plant haul. I did bring some sweet potatoes and some potatoes and some seeds to put around. And I'm about to walk down to the lake. So if you were just here for the Stark Brothers information and you wanna jump to the end of the video and catch that Permaculture Zones video, I totally understand, but if you want to hang in with me, I would super appreciate it. Alrighty, hang on, let me set these down and then we'll go to the lake. Okay, get my stuff here. Alright, it is not the next day. It got hot and I had to take that other shirt off. I got that shirt from Mary's Heirloom Seeds back in October. I don't know if she still has it, but I liked it. We just left. When I picked up the camera, we were at the spot where I was talking about the asparagus. So this is how close we are to the lake. Oh, that was a pretty dragonfly. I get so distracted, y'all, sorry. So see, this is how close we are. So I'm thinking like the edge of the woods right here, this piece of woods, might end up being zone 1 if I come down here a lot. But what I was thinking, let's go talk on the picnic table, is that I'm gonna put sweet potatoes over here and probably like potatoes as well. We still have our spider. Okay. Let me get you reset. Okay, here we are. So I'm thinking of putting the sweet potatoes over here. I had some where the bee house is. I'm moving the bee house, I told you that. But I had some over there and it looks like they haven't come back. I didn't dig them. Or they haven't come back yet. I will get over this fear of buzzy things the longer I'm here. And once my guineas get here and grown, I'll feel even better. So I brought out some russet potatoes. I'm really bad about just leaving potatoes in the cabinet until they do this for me. And I have 3 in here, I think. Yeah, I have 3 in here and I'm just gonna like shove them in the ground over here somewhere. And then Oh, I thought that grabbed the bag that had a few little ones. Anyways, this is the kind of sweet potatoes that I like. There was a documentary about blue zones. I don't remember what it's called, but it might be called blue zones. But if you look up blue zone documentary, you'll probably find it. But there was one culture, and the blue zones are where people live over 100, or it's not unusual for people to live over 100. And one of the blue zones, this was a staple in their diet, was purple sweet potato. These are kind of bright purple inside when they're raw. When you cook them, they're really a deep purple. And they are so good. They are delicious. So they look like that when they're raw, but when you cook them, they get really, really, really deep colored. These with some chili on top, like a really spicy black bean chili, are amazing. They're also really good with like butter and garam masala or Chinese 5 spice. I like that a lot too. Or one day I just did them with like, what did I do? I think I did butter and jalapenos. I don't know. This with spicy is amazing. And then I also brought out dandelion seeds and some pecans. There's a pecan up by the highway, but there's none down here. I'm not putting these pecan seeds down yet. I don't know where I want to put them. But I am going to go ahead and... I haven't seen any dandelions out here. So let's just do this. See what happens. Now I'm getting dandelion all over me. So I have these, and then I also brought out just a random pack of seeds. And I'm not gonna make you sit through all of this, but I have like, I have loofah, I brought some pumpkins. I don't think I grabbed any watermelons. I did grab a pack of Kajari melons. And then there's just like different pollinator flowers and like coreopsis. Butterfly pea flower is in here, just some random stuff. I am gonna go get all of that done. I won't make you sit with me. The video about the permaculture zones will be right here, so hop into that one. It's not very long. Watch it, and then watch whatever YouTube tells you to watch of mine after that one. Because, again, I need the view hours, and I would really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Later, y'all.